Okay, guys, today we're going to do an overview on the Ylopo marketing system. It's a really cool system that helps us convert more buyer and seller leads and does a lot of the work on the back end to make you more efficient. So I'm going to pull up a little guide here that we're going to go through, so you have a good understanding after watching this video of what the Ylopo marketing system is all about, how you use it in your business, and how it integrates with Follow Up Boss, which is our CRM that we use. So let's take a look here, guys, at the Ylopo marketing system. If you guys can see my screen here that I'm sharing. So the Ylopo marketing system overview, right? How to leverage Ylopo to generate, nurture, and convert more leads. That's what this is all about. What is Ylopo? Ylopo, think of it as a digital marketing system designed specifically for real estate, right? It's just a real estate system. And it helps you generate buyer and seller leads online. There's some tools that you can use to generate your own leads. It also has tools that will nurture your leads long-term, different automations that kick in, and it works hand in hand seamlessly with Follow Up Boss, helps you keep leads organized and tracked. It's not a separate CRM. Our Follow Up Boss is our CRM. This is an add-on that basically takes Follow Up Boss to another level. So they work kind of hand in hand. And the great thing is that what it does is it creates hand raisers from the leads that are already in your CRM. So as you start building leads in your CRM, you might have hundreds of leads in your Follow Up Boss. This is going to help get people to raise their hand who are thinking of buying and selling, and now you can follow up accordingly, right? So think of it as like your digital marketing engine / assistant / kind of the work being done behind the scenes every day. So that you have basically some NOS or some power behind your business, right? So let's talk about just kind of how it integrates with Follow Up Boss, right? So when a lead comes into Follow Up Boss and they start engaging with some of the Ylopo marketing tools or marketing that gets sent out to the lead, Ylopo will put a tag on it, right? So if you look in any lead, and I'll pull an example up in a second. If you look at any lead in Follow Up Boss, you'll see there's a tag section. So these tags are like ways to filter out. So you'll either see like a Y priority tag. Y priority basically means that this lead engaged with the Ylopo system. Either they clicked on some properties, or they requested some information, or they checked their home value a bunch of times through the Ylopo tool. So now you know, okay, follow up with these leads. And then you'll get alerts as well. So as the leads engage with Ylopo, that's when you get emails and text alerts saying, hey, so-and-so lead, John Smith, engaged with your home value tool, or so-and-so is back on your website looking at properties, or so-and-so clicked on the property 5 times, follow up. So it also is going to prompt you on who to call and who to follow up based off their engagement. You can organize your smart lists as well. So like the smart lists we have in Follow Up Boss, the ones that are on the left-hand side that we recommend you call, they include people who are on the Y priority, right? The higher intent leads. So now you know who to focus on and call. And then every interaction that they take with Ylopo, if they click on something, if they view something, if they text back, that all shows up in Follow Up Boss. So Follow Up Boss, you'll see it all there in the history feed. Now when you're looking through your leads, you can see, okay, hey, last month this person did this person did that. It's like your way of kind of spying on them and seeing what they're doing online, right? And so you're going to want to focus on the leads who are showing the most interest in buying or selling based off the behavior, based off what they're doing. That's really the point of Ylopo. Now, another really cool thing that Ylopo has is Raya. So Raya is basically an AI texting assistant. So it'll text leads on your behalf based off the engagement. So like if a lead goes and clicks on a property a bunch of times, the text thing will kick in. It'll say, hey, John Smith, this is Raya, PRG's assistant. We noticed you were on the website clicking on the property. Did you have some questions about that property? And it'll actually have a conversation, and it's really good. Like, you'll be surprised. Like, there's leads that are engaging with our Raya AI assistant every single day, and they're having full-on conversations back and forth. And then Raya's job is to try to set up a time for them to connect with you as the agent. So Raya will say, hey, great, can I have the agent call you? Or hey, when's a good time for them to call you? It's basically trying to book like an appointment or an opportunity for you, right? So it's built into Ylopo. Also, anytime you change a lead, like in Follow Up Boss, to nurture stage, Raya knows that, hey, I should text this lead every so often just to see how they're doing. So Raya now can go back even to our old leads who are under the nurture stage in follow-up boss, and it'll start texting them. Hey, it looks like you at one point you were looking to buy or looking to sell. Did you ever buy something? Did you ever make a move? And it'll start trying to bring people to the surface for you, right? So you'll get notified also from Ylopo via email and text when somebody engages and they need to be called back, right? So it's a really cool tool. Some of the Ylopo marketing tools that you should be using, right? So with Ylopo, you get 2 different links. Every agent gets 2 different links, and these are your links for you to use for marketing and to capture leads. So you get a personalized buyer search link, and I'll show you what that looks like. Basically, this is like your own branded site where people can search for homes. And when they go search from homes, they go to this page, they search for homes, they start clicking on stuff. It'll capture their information, right? If they're not already in Follow-Up Boss, or if they're already in Follow-Up Boss and they're clicking on this, it'll start giving you feedback. Hey, so-and-so is back on the website. So-and-so is clicking on properties, right? And then you can also use this link in your marketing, like in your flyers, on social media, when you're at open houses and stuff like that, as a way to get people to land on your site and capture their information. And then that goes in the Follow-Up Boss, and then all of these marketing tools kick in. It's really, really cool, right? So when someone registers on that site, they become a lead in your Follow-Up Boss, and now that lead belongs to you. So this is your own way to go generate leads on your own. There's also a seller home value version of that, right? So when people want to see their home value, there's a link as well, and that's personalized to you. So now this is a branded page where people can check their home value. They can see how much their home is worth. And then when they register, it'll put them on like a reoccurring email, like a monthly email or a bi-weekly. You can go in there and change the settings. But your potential sellers who are on the site can now get an email from you every single month saying, hey, here's what your home value is doing. Here's some recent comps in your neighborhood. Here's the home that just went listed. Here's the home that just sold. And it's keeping people engaged. And so you can use this for like your marketing material. If you're doing farming on your open house flyers, you can hook it up to a QR code. Hey, check your home value, click on this link, and now you're capturing that potential seller lead, right? And then as people engage, once again, you get notified by the system through Follow-Up Boss, and then now you know who to call. There's also a really cool tool called the Open House Lead Capture tool, and there's a video in Agent Launch on how to create that. But basically what this is when you go to open houses, instead of having people sign in on a piece of paper, you're having them sign in by registering on your open house landing page, right? You can have it up on a laptop, you can have it on an iPad, and basically what they do is you tell people to come in the open house and you say, hey, you got to sign in. The seller wants everybody to sign in. When they sign in, it'll capture their information. Now that creates a lead automatically in Follow-Up Boss. And then what it'll do is it'll send them properties as well based off the property that they visited, right? That you're hosting. It'll send them similar properties. It'll put them on a home search. And then now the Raya kicks in, and now the alerts kick in, and now you get to engage. And then there's even texting that can go out, and it'll help you basically take those open house leads that most agents just put on a piece of paper, and now it dumps them into this whole marketing system, and it now markets for you, right? So think about that. How like much more effective can you be if you have this whole system doing a lot of this work for you? It saves you time. It fills in the gaps. It keeps you top of mind. And that's how you can convert more of these leads into deals, right? So a pro tip, guys, is always have your buyer and seller links ready to share. Use them on all your flyers, all your social posts. Put them in your email signature, right? Get your home value. Click here. Look at the latest properties for sale. Click here, right? You're gonna use those in your email signature. Setting up home search alerts for buyers and sellers, right? The home search for buyers and the home value reports. I won't go too much into that. I'll just give you kind of an overview, but let me kind of show you what some of these pages look like, right? So this is going to be, so this right here is the landing page, right? So this is like your buyer link. So you use your link. So like mine says enrique.realestateprg.com. So it's your first name .realestateprg.com. That's your buyer landing page. And You get set up with this when you onboard with us, so you guys should all have access to that. So like if someone comes here and they search like San Jose, all right, let's say they land on my site, they click on San Jose, now it pulls up all these properties, right? And you're the one featured on these properties. So when they click on it, as you can see, my name is featured because this is my landing page. And then our lender is featured as well. Jason's one of our lenders, so he's featured there. People can click schedule a tour. That lead goes to you. See this home person ASAP. So as they start clicking on these different things, it'll alert you, right? It alerts you, and now you can engage with that lead. And it also creates a lead, right, in your follow-up boss, right? So that's kind of how the buyer search page works. And then you can also set up home searches for your clients. I'll show you what that looks like. So once you log into something called stars, this is part of the Ylopo system. So your lead from follow-up boss, it'll have a link. And then this is the page where you can set up their own home search. So let's say like you have a buyer you're working with and they're looking for homes in San Jose. So you can create a new listing alert. So I'll click here. And then now I can go create this home search for them. Instead of using the MLS where you can't track anything, how many times they've gone on the page or landed on it, you use the Ylopo to set up your home searches because it pulls all the data from the MLS anyways. And it's all branded to you. So I'll save a search, homes in San Jose. And then I can pick different cities, neighborhoods, price points, beds, baths, all the different criteria, what type of property. And then I can choose if there's any special amenities. And then I could even CC, let's say they have a spouse, right? Someone else that wants to be on the emails, I can CC them. And then I can choose the frequency at which they also get these alerts. Do I want them to get instant alerts, right? Probably not. You don't want them to be getting bombarded, but maybe it's weekly or daily or bi-weekly or monthly, depending on where they're at in their search. Now, this same page as well is where you will create your seller reports, right? So let's say you have a seller, you click create a seller alert, and then now this is where you can create the report for them, right? So you can put their address in here, and you can choose if you want to send this home value report weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, right? The other page that I told you about, which you get your seller link, so it'll be enrique.realestateprg, right? So your first name.realestateprg.com/seller. It takes them to this landing page. So everybody gets their own landing page like this. That's all about your home value. And then when you use this in your marketing and someone punches in their address, 123 Main Street or something, right? Just an example. They register. Now it captures that lead. Now it puts them on the home value alert, right? So just showing you some examples of how this all works. Now, let's get back to kind of your rhythm, right, with Ylopo. So what you should be doing is, as you are in follow-up boss, you should be seeing who's engaging, right? And the smart lists that we have set up are set up in that way so that they're all filtered by who engaged most recently. But even when you're going through your leads and you're looking at the history, you can see who engaged on these different leads, right? So I'll give you an example of that. Let's see here. So this is like a test lead here. This is not a real lead, but you can see the alert that it gives me inside follow-up boss. Recent activity, main city of interest, right? It can say where I clicked on. I can choose to send more listings. I can see their browsing history. If I click on this link, it takes me to the stars, the Ylopo portion where I can see what they've clicked on. I can edit it. I can do all kinds of stuff. So now this activity appears inside of your follow-up boss, right? So you see how useful that could be as you're marketing. Okay, so you're going to want to check your activity weekly. You're going to want to reach out to people. You also get alerts in your follow-up boss through your inbox when the Raya is texting people and they're texting back. That's all going to show up in your inbox. So you can see who's texting back. And then you could even jump into the conversation, pause Raya, or just pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, you were just talking to my assistant. Looks like you want to see a home. When can you go see that home, right? So there's so much you can do, right? You have all these like secret weapons at your fingertips that you can use. And then you can share these different things with your clients, right? as you market to your past clients and all that stuff. Hey, I want to keep you updated on your home value, or I want to keep you updated on new homes that come up, and you use these different tools. So always check for the engagement in Follow Up Boss. There's another part called the tools page, which I'll show you. Let's see here. So on our PRG website, we have a link called ylopo.realestateprg.com, and it takes you to this tools page. And these are all the different tools that you get as part of the Ylopo platform. So it has like a page where you can design your own flyers. Like we have a bunch of flyers in our Canva, but then you have all these other things that you can design. If you want to design like a custom report for your buyer presentation, for your listing presentation, stuff that you can add to your marketing, you can do that all here. It has another version of a buyer presentation. We already have one created for you, but if you wanted to take some ideas or customize something, you got it here. This is the open house tool that I talked about. So if you want to create an open house lead capture page, you would click here, and then you would set up the property that you're hosting, and you would create your landing page for that. It has a heat map that you can show where we have buyers. So like when you go on a listing appointment, this will pull all the different buyers that we have in our whole entire CRM based off what they're clicking on and what they're searching on. And you can show a seller, hey, like we have 50 buyers looking in your zip code right now. Yeah. So imagine if you take this marketing piece to a listing appointment, that's going to help you stand out from the other people, right? From the other agents. And then you can do like a market trends page, right? Where you can customize these, a single listing flyer. There's all kinds of stuff, listing details, right? So there's a lot of tools that you get, and this is all included with your Ylopo seat that you get access to with the platform here. Okay, so last but not least, guys, just kind of summarizing why this stuff matters, right? And so if you think about it, most agents lose deals due to inconsistent follow-up, right? They're not following up, right? And so Ylopo is going to automate some of that follow-up for you. It's going to send these different things, these alerts, these property searches, this RIA texting, so that you stay top of mind, right? So as you're managing all these leads you have, and you're adding more and more people to your database, you have all these systems running on all those leads, and that keeps you top of mind. And as they raise their hand and show interest or show engagement, right? That's how like things don't slip through the cracks. Now you got to follow up. So your job is just to look out for that and follow up and make the call. Let the system do its job, right? It allows you to show up professionally and with consistency, because it's all branded and it all looks really cool and really modern, and it's all branded with our colors and our logo and your face and all that good stuff, your headshot and your contact info. And so you're going to convert more because you're more visible and more active at the end of the day, right? So the agents who really learn how to use Follow Up Boss and Ylopo together, that's all you need. You don't need any other tools, because this covers it all, right? Follow Up Boss keeps you organized. Ylopo does all the marketing for you. Those systems come together, and boom, the agents who are using this weekly are the ones who are creating predictable pipelines, right? Just learn how to use the system, play around with it, go to training, ask questions, and it'll all start to make sense. And start including all these different tools that you have access to in your marketing, in your campaigns, on your flyers, at your open houses, and watch what happens to your business, right? So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you got a good understanding of how to do, how Ylopo works, why it's powerful, and why we integrated this with our Follow Up Boss CRM. If you need more training on this, there's a ton of videos, right? This is really the overview, and I would start here. But if you want to go deeper into Follow Up Boss, there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. There's masterminds. There's, there's some masterminds that we have in our agent launch where they're just talking about like how top agents all across the US are using Ylopo, and they're showing like all the different ways that they're using it. Some people are like taking this thing and like going to the next level with it. And so, but you got to start at the basics first, get the systems down, and then you can start getting more advanced, right? So dive into Ylopo, guys, make this a part of your business, and watch your business grow. Talk soon.